The Chicago Police Department is the law enforcement agency of the U.S. city of Chicago, Illinois, under the jurisdiction of the City Council. It is the second largest municipal police department in the United States, behind the New York City Police Department. It has approximately 12,000 officers and over 1,925 other employees. Tracing its roots back to the year of 1835, the Chicago Police Department is one of the oldest modern police forces in the world. Critics say the Chicago Police Department has a history of police brutality, torture and rape, particularly targeting the African American community in Chicago. In 2017, the United States Department of Justice strongly criticized the department for poor training, lack of oversight and routine use of excessive force. The Superintendent of Police leads the Chicago Police Department. David O. Brown, former chief of the Dallas Police Department, is the current superintendent of the Chicago Police Department. In 1960, the municipal government created a 5-member police board charged with nominating a superintendent to be the chief authority over police officers, drafting and adopting rules and regulations governing the police system, submitting budget requests to the City Council, and hearing and deciding disciplinary cases involving police officers. Criminologist O.W. Wilson was brought on as superintendent of police, and served until 1967 when he retired. This position, in its current iteration, has existed as the head of the Chicago Police Department since 1960. Starting salary for Chicago police officers in 2016 is $48,078, increased to $72,510 after 18 months. Promotions to specialized or command positions also increases an officer's base pay. Salaries were supplemented with a $2,920 annual duty availability and an $1,800 annual uniform allowance. In 2017, the composition of the department's sworn personnel by gender was 77% male and 23% female. The highest-ranked woman in Chicago police history was Barbara West, who was appointed the third highest-ranked cop in 2020. In 2017, the racial composition of the department's sworn personnel was. The Chicago Police Department became unionized at the end of 1980. Chicago police officers are represented by the Fraternal Order of Police. In 2020, Officer John Catanzara was elected as the head of the union. Catanzara has one of the worst disciplinary records in the department. Previously in 2017, Catanzara stated of Muslims, "Savages, they all deserve a bullet." Later he defended the 2021 storming of the United States Capitol by Trump supporters, stating that, "They're individuals. They get to do what they want." The Chicago Police Board is a 9-member agency charged with nominating candidates for the position of superintendent to the mayor, adopting rules and regulations for the department, and deciding disciplinary cases when the superintendent fails to thus charge or suspend a police officer. The board is also charged with resolving disciplinary cases when there is a dispute between the chief administrator of the Civilian Office of Police Accountability and the superintendent. The board is made up of 9 civilian members who are appointed by the mayor and confirmed by the City Council. The Civilian Office of Police Accountability is an independent city agency which has the authority to investigate allegations of police officer misconduct and police shootings. It can make recommendations about disciplinary action and department policy, but cannot take such action itself. COPA was created in 2016, replacing the former Independent Police Review Authority. According to historian Sam Mitrani, the Chicago Police Department professionalized and grew in size during the 19th century in order to quell labor unrest. City policymakers cooperated with business elites in terms of structuring the police department. The Chicago Police Department remained beset by vast corruption well into the 20th century. In 1825, prior to the creation of Cook County, in what would later become the village of Chicago, was in Putnam County, Archibald Claiborne was appointed to be constable of the area between the DuPage River and Lake Michigan. Claiborne went on to become an important citizen of the city, and the diagonal Claiborne Avenue is named after him. When the town of Chicago was incorporated to become a city in 1837, provisions were made to elect an officer called the High Constable. He in turn would appoint a common constable from each of the 6 city wards. In 1855, The newly elected city council passed ordinances to formally establish the Chicago Police Department. Chicago was divided into 3 police precincts, each served by a station house. Station No. 1 was located in a building on State Street between Lake and Randolph Streets. Station No. 2 was on West Randolph Street near Des Plaines Street. Station No. 3 was on Michigan Street near Clark Street. Political connections were important to joining the force. Formal requirements: we